Hello and welcome to Off Camber. My name is Alfred. In today's episode, we'll be going through the installation of this product right here in front of me. And this is the Motobilt rear frame chop bumper. And if you guys have been with me on previous episodes, and you're kind of already familiar with what I've been doing on this Jeep right here, I've been installing a ton of products from Motobilt. Products I've already installed so far include the front bumper, the front and rear fenders, along with their rock sliders. But this right here is the last piece of the puzzle. And well, as the name implies, it is a frame chop bumper. So what that actually means is that what we're going to be doing is we're removing a section of the frame from the rear of the Jeep, along with the factory crossmember. And what that's going to do is we're going to replace that factory crossmember with one that Motobilt provides. And the reason why we would do that is because we're going to bring this bumper closer to the body of the Jeep. And what that's going to give us is a better departure angle. And that's going to prevent, overhang and getting hung up on rocks once you're trying to get the back of the Jeep over it. Now, if you're familiar with Jeep Wranglers, especially with the JK, then you already kind of know that the factory bumper is only made of plastic, and well, it doesn't really have much structure back there. So it takes an impact. Normally it gets a dent and it kind of stays there, or it gets hung up on a rock or a tree and it just kind of rips itself off. So this is going to be way stronger than what the factory would have provided, and well, we're going to be going through the install of it today. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. Now we can actually get into removing the factory crossmember. So what we'll do, remove the factory crossmember, and then we'll clean up the edges of the frame with where this originally welded to. The work can definitely be done with a grinder, but here I have access to a plasma cutter, so it's going to make removing this a lot easier. So let's get to it.
A plasma cutter really does save time removing items such as this crossmember. Along with time, a plasma is also really good at getting the angles in tight areas where you typically couldn't reach with a grinder. All that remains is the slag caused by the plasma cutter, but we'll go back through with a grinder and clean it all off.
So we got the frame rails all cleaned up and all the old bracketry off that was used for the crossmember. As you guys can tell, I am wearing some different clothes. I'm wearing a different shirt and pants, obviously. Well, when I was cutting and grinding on the Jeep, I added a fiberglass blanket over the back of it just to protect it from sparks and grinding marks. Well, let's just say that fiberglass blanket's kind of itchy, so I had to go home and grab a new pair of clothes. But we'll keep moving forward, and we'll get ready to get the frame ready for the install.
Here's the cutting template that Motobilt provides along with the bumper. Once it's all folded, we'll slide it over the frame and match the oval cutout in the template to the oval cutout in the frame. We'll come through with a Sharpie, mark out our lines, and use a grinder to cut off this end of the frame. For this portion, I'm going to utilize the grinder, and this is because a grinder is going to give me a cleaner cut and less cleanup than if I would have used the plasma cutter.
While cutting out the passenger side frame for the end cap, I noticed I was having a little issues trying to get my last cut on the bottom side, and that's just because the muffler's tailpipe comes out right below it. While looking at it though, it looks like the crossmember runs right in the same path as the muffler would, and it looks like that this bumper won't work with the factory exhaust. So now what I'm going to do is just rip it off, and then I'll figure out a solution later down the line.
Now, before anyone gives me any slack about my muffler removal, yes, I know I can remove the clamp, and yes, I can remove the rubber isolators. But here, there's two ways of doing this, the right way and the fast way. Well, tonight, I'm going for the fast way.
With the rear crossmember and bumper all mocked up, the only thing we have to do now is just weld it to the frame. It's been a while since I've welded, so I'm gonna just practice on some scrap pieces of metal on the fab table.
Is he welding? He asked me to do that. Are you welding?
Yeah, man, I'm trying to get some practice in before I burn in that crossmember.
What are you doing?
You know, stacking some dimes.
Well, now that we established that Alfred can't weld.
Well, I mean, we established that I can stack dimes with JB Weld, so it's debatable. But Rob is going to be the one to burn the crossmember and those end caps onto the frame. He's going to make it look a lot nicer than I ever will, so he's going to be the one to actually do all the work, so.
All right, let's get it done.
Hell yeah.
Before we weld everything in, we're going to go through with a can of steel it and apply it to all the bare metal surfaces that we plan to weld. Unlike regular paint where you have to remove before you can weld, steel it you can weld directly over top of it.
With everything welded in, now what we can do is start adding the body bolts back into the body and install the bumper onto the Jeep. There's a couple issues that I did run into with the body bolts. So before I started filming, I tried to back them out, and well, number one, I would say lucky enough I was able to get the passenger side out without any issues. Unfortunately, the driver's side faulted me the entire time. And ended up breaking the welds loose on the inside of the tub. So when I was trying to turn that bolt, it was just free spinning. I even tried like soaking in pan train oil like a couple hours before, just because I kind of felt like that was gonna be the issue. But still, regardless, it broke. So I had to make an access panel into the tub, and then instead of using like a factory body bolt, I just went to the hardware store, grabbed a grade 5, and made my own. Another issue with the body bolts back here is that the washer size, the factory washer size for those bolts kind of vary throughout the years. And some styles, the smaller style, works without any issue for the crossmember from Motobilt. But if you have like a larger style washer, you either have to open the crossmember up, the opening up a little bit more, or shaving down the washer on the body bolt, or what I decided to opt out with. I had my buddy Rob make me some new washers that were a little bit smaller, so we ended up just going that route just because it was the cleanest way of doing it. But regardless, we'll throw the body bolts back into the Jeep and slap the bumper onto it. If you guys like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you guys have any questions about this bumper, or maybe anything else about the products I've thrown on this Jeep, please definitely let me know in the comments. And with the comments, if there's anything I could be doing better or possibly different on the channel, please definitely let me know, because, well, I'm always trying to make the next video better than the last. So I don't think there's any much more I could talk about this bumper. So, well, I think I'm going to call this one done for today. And I'll catch you guys on the next adventure. What? Hey, this is Rob. He's gonna weld it. Say hi, Rob. Yeller.